Welcome back to Morning Express. Today is Thursday. It's time for Tech Central, and this is where we highlight some of the technology that has either been invented locally, it could also have been invented elsewhere, but we just like to talk about some of the inventions and ingenious things that are coming up. And so far, we've had quite a number of great ones, and today we feature yet another one, which is called Gari Mkononi. I'll not explain it further because we have the founders, and I'll start by introducing them. We have Douglas Mwangi to my extreme left. Thank you for coming. And we also have Jacob Maina, who's seated right next to me. Karibuni sana. Now, you're the founders of Gari Mkononi. Let's start with you, Douglas. What exactly is Gari Mkononi?
Gari Mkononi is our product, but our company is called Africa Truck International Limited. So what we do, we give advanced vehicle tracking and fleet management. So we've come in and we've said we want to seal the gaps that have been left in the market. So that is exactly what we do. Okay, Jacob,
car track sounds something that has been there for a while. We have quite a number of tracking car systems that have been in operation. What's different from Gari Mkononi?
Car track, of course, has been there for so many years, but we still have so many accidents. We still have so many vehicles being stolen. A vehicle will be stolen today and tomorrow it's gone. We still have a lot of people dying on the roads, but we still have car tracks. So we use the same technology and now brought a solution to all this.
Okay.
Now that's what we call the Now Gari Mkononi app.
The Now Gari Mkononi app. Tell me a little bit more about the Now Gari Mkononi app.
The Gari Mkononi is an application where we, as it sounds, we are bringing the car to your hands. So you're able to control your car fully from your mobile phone in many aspects, where if I can check all the reports for my vehicle. If I've parked my car out there, I can be able to see it. I can be able to ground it from here. So that means even if I drop my keys down there, no one can start that car until I authorize that with my phone, plus very many other aspects. So we have divided it into three. We have the SMS option, we have the mobile app, and we have the online web-based platform. So all that now is narrowed down to a mobile app. That's how we call it.
Okay, let's break this down because it sounds quite phenomenal. You say you can immobilize your car using your cell phone. You can see your car. You can do various things with your car. All on your cell phone.
Exactly.
Okay, let's start with the immobilizing system. How does that work?
That one works in two ways. If the car is stolen. If it's stolen, you just use any person's phone.
Or you can use any, it doesn't have to be specifically your phone.
So I can just borrow your phone. My car is stolen, the phone was inside, so
in case,
your phone, but we give you a particular password, which is yours. Same with M-Pesa. So I borrow your phone and then send to my car, it stops, wherever it is. Two, at night, or when you have parked your car. So when you park your car down there, or at night, you go to your phone or borrow somebody's phone, maybe your child's phone or your wife's phone, put it off until tomorrow morning. So even if I give you the car key, you can take it from the parking.
Wow.
It will stay there until tomorrow in the morning when I authorize somebody to use it on my phone.
Okay, that's, how does that work technology-wise? I mean, it sounds, a cell phone, we know it to send messages, we know it to, how does it integrate to the car system?
What we do, we fit hardware in the car. So now your phone communicates to the hardware.
To the hardware.
Now the hardware again communicates to our software.
Okay.
So that's how it functions.
All right. So how do I actually, what's the procedure of actually now disabling my car, for example? Let's use the first example whereby, which is majority of us, when you get home, park your car, and you want to rest for the night, but you also don't want to worry whether your car is going to be stolen. How does that work?
Just go to your phone, go to the SMS option. You send an SMS.
Do we have that on the tablet that you had brought?
Yeah, we do. Okay. But now that one is on the SMS option. The SMS option, you use any phone. You can even use the so-called Mlikamwizi. So just get that phone. Just remember your password. Your password could be Douglas1234. So I just type that password, then authorize the car to stop. So the car can only stop using that password. It will read that password. So if you use a different password, it can't stop.
Okay.
You can't, again, you can't ignite it if you have a different password. It can only execute through that password.
But now, for you to be able to install this hardware into the car, I would imagine then you'd need maybe my mechanic, for example, to participate in that. Is that so? Or do you do the whole installation?
The company has its own technicians, fully trained and with a lot of experience. Normally, you call the company, Africa Truck, and then we send you a technician and a supervisor to come and install. Nobody should be around the car. 1, 2, even the car owner should not be there. Because we assume we don't know who is the actual owner. So that's why we only say the only person who should see the installation is the technician and the company. And then we give you now the password to be operating your vehicle, which you can change. Ideally, that's to remove us who installed, so we cannot be able to control your car.
So that you don't compromise security from the technicians in case one of them, you know.
Exactly.
Okay. So now, how will you then verify that I'm actually the owner, because I'm not even there when you're installing?
We ask for your details. And of course, during the installation, you get to know who exactly the person is. And when you're feeding into the system, we ask for the details so that you can feed them.
Okay. All right. Then you send an SMS. So this SMS now communicates with the hardware that you've installed in the car.
Yeah.
And that completely disables it. Is there a way of short-circuiting that?
No. There isn't. We've developed in a way where even it's tamper-proof. It only reads you. For example, even if I wanted to listen, for example, to what is happening in the vehicle, so I'll use that password to listen to that. So before the system activates the microphones, you have to send a password. It has to read your password, so that now it activates the microphones in the car for you to listen to that.
Why do we need microphones in the car?
Assuming you, let me give you a scenario. My family is hijacked, and I'm left somewhere. I need to listen to what these people are telling my family. I need to listen to exactly what is happening.
And location.
And locations. Probably they're telling you, go this direction, move this way. At least I'm tracking that live on my mobile app. I'm seeing the direction they're moving. I have an option of stopping them. But I'm still interested in listening to whatever is happening to my family.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what we'd like you to do, in case you're watching from today, is to rate this technology and tell us, is it a hit or a miss? Is it one that you find you can use? Is it practical? Or is it something that you feel that, well, it is a good idea, but not a very good idea? Do let me know via Twitter now. And let me take it from you there now. Okay, here you are, you're saying that the technology and the hardware is tamper-proof. What if the hardware or my phone, one of them fails? That leaves me stuck.
Normally, we have a way we have worked around that. One, the system is not, unlike other companies, the system is just one box that is fit into the car. Ours is so many boxes that operate different functions. So a thief steals, then removes one box, thinks he has stolen, they are very small. He thinks he has stolen the system. But we continue tracking with the others. Two, every time you touch the system, unlike any other car track system of fleet management, ours has something we call the driver interference notification. So you go into the car, try to interfere with the wiring, I receive a notification. Driver interference notification. So I receive a notification somebody is trying to interfere with the car. So that's basically to ensure that it's very tamper-proof.
Okay. All right. So literally, for me to disable the car, I'm just trying to think of this practically. All I'll have to do is send an SMS. Can I do it via call?
No.
Okay.
You only have to do via SMS because we don't want you to mistake. Maybe your phone or someone calls a wrong number or something. So we want it to be very voluntary, such that if you switch that vehicle off, then it must be you. Or it was voluntary. You did it out of will.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You mentioned that apart from disabling the car, I can also view what's going on in the car. All right. How does that work?
You see, we have products depending on the clients. We have a product for the personal individual car owner. We have a fleet management for companies now, which comes with a lot of innovations around that area. And then we have another system now for road accident control. Now for somebody who was already a fleet management, but his vehicles are still having accidents, maybe or carelessness of the driver. We have another system for that. So what we are talking about is the personal, individual.
Yeah, right now we're on personal. We'll come to the corporate. But now on the personal, are you able to view the inside, or is that a package that comes for the fleet?
It's optional. Somebody may say, I want a camera in the car, I want a microphone to monitor what's been said inside the car using my phone, I want to cut off the engine when it's at the parking. So it depends on what exactly the client wants.
Okay.
It's optional.
Okay. So now with the one where I can hear what's going on in the car, you'll obviously have to fit some microphones.
Exactly.
Where in the car do you fit them?
We try to, as confidential as possible. There's no particular place where you fit them, but you try to fit them in places where they can capture the voices. Yeah. Okay,
my assumption is that this is something that you've designed mainly for security reasons.
Yeah.
But people could obviously use it for other things. For example, in an instance where maybe you have a spouse who's suspecting that the other one is not being too straight.
Yeah.
How does one handle that? Because you could fit, I could own, for example, both cars or 3 cars or whatever, and my spouse uses one, but I now want to spy on her, for example, or the other way around. Is that something you...
I'll be honest, it is happening. People are coming and saying, I want to monitor the movements of my husband, my wife. You see, we give you the product. It is you to determine how to use it. So if you want to monitor your husband, if you want to monitor your wife,
that is up to you.
It is up to you.
There are no legal implications in getting into privacy?
Remember, it's not us monitoring you. It's you monitoring your car.
You've just provided a product.
We've provided a product. It's you to decide how to use it.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Now, let's talk about the audio part of it. When listening into the conversation, is that still via phone, or is it something that now I can have, from a different system?
It's the normal phone. Just call. You want to listen to whatever is happening in your car, just call the system.
You call the device?
You call the device.
Okay.
It automatically reads your password and automatically activates the microphones. So you're able now to listen. But now that only happens to you who has the password. So if someone else is listening, then it means you've issued that password to them. And
can I call using somebody else's phone, or it's purely just my phone?
Any phone, as long as you remember your password. The principle is simple, just like M-Pesa. You can withdraw from any M-Pesa shop as long as you have your password. If my password is 000, then I can withdraw from here, Mombasa, wherever.
Okay.
The same. So you can use whatever phone, Safaricom, Airtel, any phone, as long as you remember your password.
Okay, we'll come to the corporate side of fleet management and all that. But how long did it take you to come up with this? What gave you the idea? What platform gave you the idea to come up with this whole product?
It's majorly based on the need. The background is when we were young, our father's car was stolen, and it was never recovered to date.
Are you brothers? Or exactly. Both? Oh, your brothers?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, I didn't know that.
So it was stolen, and then when our father went to recover it, he was now the person who, the vehicle literally belonged to the person who had taken it away. So we need...
So it was somebody who sold him the vehicle, then later stole it?
No, somebody stole his car, and then when he went to recover it, it seemed as if he's the one stealing now his own car. So it was never recovered. Later, we again lost somebody, a family member, into an accident because somebody was careless enough to drive carelessly. So we started thinking around that area. What can we bring on board? We realized around 80% of Africans have a mobile phone. So if we can use this technology, we'll be able to penetrate Africa as much as possible. Remember, Africa is rated road accidents and casualties resulting from road accidents and vehicle or road lack of security on the roads is far much higher than the casualties from malaria. But most people give attention to malaria, meaning there is a big gap here of people who have been left. That's why you use this technology. That's what inspired us to innovate the technology.
Okay. How long did it take for you to actually now, from the point of idea to the point of seeing it, now beginning to take some feet and walking?
I think it was a call of necessity. We started that in campus, I think back in 2010. So when we left campus, definitely we were doing other jobs. So we started the dealing, selling of vehicles. So from here we realized the opportunity was not actually in selling vehicles, it was actually tracking these vehicles. So then we came and thought, we've shelved this idea, so why not work on it? So it took us like, I think 1 year. Like 1 year now, fully working on it until the point of implementation. So when we implemented that,
And what's your background of education? Is it IT?
I've done project management, specialized in IT. I've done procurement, but done also IT. Yeah.
So how did you end up changing? Because it sounds like both of you are not really more into tech and, you know, apps and all that. How did you manage to reinvent yourselves from what you have learned, the disciplines that you had gone to university for, to now, you know, technology?
Remember, someone like me, I've done management of IT projects. So it's basically about formation of teams, coming together as a group of around 5 people, the first people who started developing it, and then developing according, and we have continued to develop to date, and we are still continuing depending on what the client wants. So we listen to the client, this is what they want, then we sit down, see what we can do for them, and then develop it, and then provide it to them. Okay. So we keep developing
as you go along. All right, let's talk about the visual. We've talked about the audio, and there is an SMS or a call that you call, and then the system activates and you can hear. You can literally hear from the whole car. Not just the driver. Okay. What about the visual? How does the visual work?
We just fit a camera, and you're able to view, take pictures and view whatever is happening in the car.
And where do you view from?
From your phone or from your computer in the office.
Okay. Does this use data, or how do you connect?
For that one, for that particular one, uses data.
Okay, and audio?
Audio doesn't. Audio, it's just a normal call, just the way you call me, the same.
So does the system have a SIM card, or how are we communicating with the hardware?
Exactly.
Okay. All right. And then there is, now the visual. Once I'm viewing what's happening, is that also domestic, or is it for personal, or is it for fleet management?
It cuts across. Somebody in fleet management will say, I want to see what the drivers are doing if they are carrying unauthorized passengers. So it cuts across from individuals to fleet management.
Okay. With the visual, what about at night? And I'll use the incident that you used, where maybe possibly your family has been kidnapped, or a loved one maybe using your car has been abducted, and you want to see what's going on. Does it have night vision?
That one you don't.
Okay.
That one you don't.
So at night you'd not be able to see what's going on.
Yeah.
So I guess then between a certain time frame, a driver, for example, if they wanted to carry unauthorized passengers, they could do that so long as they know.
But normally, it will only show you images of the people inside, but not clear when it's too dark. But capture something, but not very clear, still blurred a bit.
Okay. All right. And what sort of cameras are fitted? Are they like phone cameras? Because I know a phone camera in darkness is very compromised in terms of quality.
It's not a phone camera, it's an advanced camera.
Okay.
It's a small one fit at the dashboard somewhere.
Okay. Which is able to get a clear view of the whole car.
It has to have a 180-degree view.
So it's a wide-angle camera.
Exactly.
Okay. Let's talk about fleets. What do you have to offer for corporates?
For corporates now, that's our major focus. We've segmented our fleet. We deal with matatu, the PSVs, personal public service vehicles. Then we have for companies, like KTN, for example, for Standard Group. Now, for the matatu people, what we do, they have a fleet. They are organized in circles. So we'll come to a circle. We do, for example, 200 of your vehicles. We feed that in the office. We come and do screens in the office. So they are able to monitor all their vehicles from one point. Then every member of the circle has a mobile app. So they're able to know at what point is their car, what direction is the car moving to, at what speed is it moving at. Anytime it overspeeds, the owner of the car receives an SMS. He receives that on a mobile app. And from the office, they're able to see that vehicle ABCD, KBA something is overspeeding. So we do that from a central point. Then every person, the member of the circle and any other person in the circle, can be able to trace where the car has been the whole day. So they'll come and say, I want to see where my car was yesterday in this particular time. So they will play a video. They will replay a video of yesterday. So the car moved from Westlands, went to Kikuyu, went to all these. From Westlands, it was parked in Westlands for this long.
It has even the timing. You can tell it was parked there for 30 minutes.
Yeah, it has all that timing. Then that is on a mobile app. Then we have the online platform. Now this one is a bit detailed. It will tell you, it will play an actual video. You'll even see the car move. It moved, so someone will come and tell me, I was on Mombasa Road and I was stopped by the police and I wasted all the time there. I moved from there, I went to the garage. All you need to do, just go play a video. Was he actually stopped by the police? Yes or no. Did he move to whatever garage? Yes. If yes, what garage? Then, wow. So that is for the matatu. Then for the fleet, for the companies, we have, now that one is a bit detailed again, because we even check on fuel, we check on fuel management, we check on, we give reports. What reports? Terms of mileage. It will tell you, it moved from, today it covered this mileage. Then we have, it will tell you the maximum speed, the minimum speed, the average speed. It will tell you the status of the engine, gives you a total. At what, how long was the engine off? How long was the engine on? How long was the engine idling? Then it will have a distance calculator. I want to send my car, has been hired. I want to send it in Kisumu from here, to Kisumu from here. So I'll just do from here to Kisumu. What is the distance? What is the safest route from here? So the system will generate a route. It will tell me, use this route instead of this. This one is shorter than this. This is long but safe than this. Then, at the end of the day, if the mileage, the kilometers that a distance calculator gave me was 100 kilometers, then in the evening, the driver actually covered 150. I can be able to now to replay a video to see where he actually went. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And looking at that system, it feels and sounds quite elaborate and very, what would I call it? It's quite elaborate. I think that's the word. Now, should this corporate, for instance, take you on, how do you run the system? Or do you leave it to them to run it? Because at the end of the day, it requires a certain kind of backup.
Yeah. For us, we believe in making it easy for the client. So you have 100 vehicles, 200, 300. How do you make it very easy for you to efficiently and effectively manage all those vehicles? That's why when we install it in your office and we give you a computer and a screen and all that to monitor, we then enable every manager to have a mobile application from which now they can monitor every car, as he was saying, where it has passed, every mistake the driver has done on the phone. So I just log into the application.
So even if you did an illegal turn, for example, you would be able to tell.
Hash braking, hash acceleration, I just log in into the app and click alerts. I see all of them the whole day. Every time, how many trips he went on the application. So we make it easy for the client. Mm-hmm. So the managers are doing it, every authorized employee, and the person in the office, and then we give the backup now. Mm-hmm. After making it easy, not like in other companies where you have an issue, you have to call the tracking company, and then it has to help you.
So this one, the client directly has access to see what's going on.
Fully empowered.
Fully empowered. Mm. Okay. Mm. Now, you talked about accidents, yeah. And I'm assuming that you have solutions for accidents. Yeah. Apart from speed, what other features are there within the app or within your system that try and reduce the number of accidents we have on our roads?
Maybe from statistics, in Kenya alone, around 3,000 to 13,000 people die according to WHO. On annual basis due to road accidents. Mm. So how we reduce that apart from the speed, we also look into, and this is what has made us win so many awards, we look at the driver behavior. If you've gone to Mombasa using these buses, for example, someone will go to Mombasa, then from Mombasa he'll come back, then he has no time to rest. Mm. So the system is able to capture the drowsiness. The system is able to capture some if you're high on something, for example, if you're high on bang, mm-hmm. The system is able to tell that this person, it will detect the breath and all that.
Oh, so it almost has an alcablo.
Exactly. It's a more advanced version of alcablo.
How does it measure, if I'm high on something? What is it going to measure? Is it my eyes, the way they're droopy, or what does it measure?
There is a technology that comes along with that, which we can't really go into detail, but it measures the basic things. Most of the drugs will have maybe carbon, or we have ethane, or we'll have something that is common to all of them, which will not be in a soda, in a Coca-Cola, in a packet of tea. So it measures, there are some common things that it measures from your breath. Okay. From your breath.
So how does it capture my breath? Do you have something that you install within the system?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And how does it what I'm trying to understand is how it captures my breath as the driver, whereas I might be carrying 5 drunk people, but I'm sober.
You'll adjust the proximity to whatever point you want. So if you want it to capture the passenger, you'll do that. If you want it to capture the driver alone, you do that. you adjust the proximity.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And how long have you had this system? Is it in operation or is it still at its formative stage?
No, it's in operation. And maybe just to go back, when we say of the road accident control, as we was calling it, it measures all that drowsiness, how is your behavior on the road, are you overspeeding, when you overspeed, and when you do all these things, it tells the owner or the manager and records that in a report for 6 months. So just to make sure your vehicle does not get involved into any accident. And it's not, it's not an idea, it's a technology working. I believe
it's already working. Yeah. All right, let's talk about the proximity of how you can get this information. Some of the, for instance, if maybe I traveled abroad and I have sons who I'm suspecting may want to take the car without my permission, am I able to control this once I'm outside the country?
Exactly. For example, when we talk about the online platform, you can log that on in from wherever.
Tell me about the online platform. How does that work?
You have an account just like Yahoo or Gmail. So all you do, you'll go and do, for example, Douglas. My password is, my username could be Douglas. My password could be 123456. So I log in, then I go to the platform. So all the vehicles are now displayed. So whether I'm in the US, wherever I am, I can do that.
So this one now would require an internet connection?
Yeah, okay. That one requires an...
By virtue of the fact that it's using internet, how do I, for instance, disable or immobilize the car, given that you had mentioned that immobilization here is done via SMS?
You can still do that, but now that one is optional for clients because we don't want we don't want to authorize that on the platform for a company if they don't have a specific person who can switch off the car. So what you do, if you come and say, I want to be switching off my car from an online platform, that is when we input that for you. Yeah, but it is possible to do that. Even from the mobile app, it is able to do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jacob, how do you avoid people who you'd not want in the system? Given now that it's even going online and you can do that from wherever, sometimes one may forget, for instance, their password, or not their password, they may forget to clear their history. And maybe I'm doing this from abroad. Yeah. With time, a hacker could actually get into the system and hack the system and literally disable my whole fleet. How do you secure that?
One is we have monthly security checkups, which we call clients and ask them, do you want us to change the password for you? And then we change it for you, and then you notify all your managers. Two, we have a very small tab for you to click if you want that computer to keep remembering your password. So if I'm using my phone, then I can just click that one to say, every time I log in, just remember my password. The same way we do it
automatically, just like it does with an internet, with an email account.
An email account. Yeah. So you have that option. So if it's a cyber computer, you don't. We give you that option.
Okay. All right. What about in instances where possibly, like you mentioned, if it's a SACCO, you may have people who you've authorized to keep track of that, maybe a fleet manager. Yeah. But with time, Mekosana, you've fired the guy. What happens? Do I have to keep changing the password every time I fire somebody?
What you need to do, we have two passwords. There's a password for the online platform, which is now, the password for the online platform is the same as that one on the mobile app. But the password that you use to switch off your car is very different from this other password. You can choose them to be the same, but normally they are different. So if, yes, we have not stopped dealing with someone in the SACCO, then probably you have to change the password. Because again, that's the only, it's just like if I revealed my Yahoo account to you and my password, then we are no longer in terms. I definitely have to change the password and communicate now that to the other SACCO members that yes, the password was this. And they do that on a weekly basis. And they do that on a weekly basis. After 1 week, they change the password to a different password, like that, like that. So it's something very normal.
Yeah.
And let me add something as he's saying. There is a password to log in to see the vehicles. So I log in, I monitor the vehicles. There is another password to control the vehicles. So I can monitor but not being able to control. Control, I mean stop, activate. For the one for controlling the vehicle, that's very personal. And the client can change very personal. I just change my password for my own car, but the office continues to monitor. So even if you change somebody from the office, he can only monitor my car.
Okay, but cannot control.
But cannot control, it's my password.
Okay, and of course you'll restrict the number of people who you can allow to, operate the car.
Exactly.
You talked about cars that are overspeeding, and possibly that is a major cause for accidents. What interventions are there for a car that is overspeeding? Because sometimes it might be too late for me when the driver comes back for me to tell him, look, I got information that you are overspeeding, but that might be too late, given that either it could be death, or in a case where, for instance, it's a tanker, you could incur huge losses if they, are in an accident.
We believe in preventing that before it happens. So how do you do that? When a car overspeeds, we've set, for example, 80 kilometers per hour. So before it overspeeds, it will send an alert to the administrator, for example, to the owner of the car, and to the driver. The driver receives a text message and says, you're overspeeding.
So it's almost a reminder that we are watching you.
We are watching you.
Okay.
So people are watching you. Everybody is looking at you, the circle, the administrator, and the owner of the car.
Okay. Yeah. And what many people are asking now, and I look at the questions coming through, of course, there is a general interest in the product. But of course, it's down to cost. It sounds like a very elaborate thing. What are the costs?
We have segmented, as I said before, according to what the client wants. For instance, a PSV will be charged much lower, a personal will be much higher, and a fleet manager, because they require different products. But generally, for a PSV, for a SACCO, if they come as a SACCO, it goes around 10 to 13,000.
Per what? Per vehicle?
Per vehicle.
Okay.
But
that depends on what they are subscribing to. In other words, it may have audio, visual, or it can just be speed.
It can be, normally, it's the whole system, plus speed alerts, plus mobile application, plus the screen we give them in the office, plus the training we do to their members. Okay. That whole package. But they have to procure as a company. 2, if it's for an individual, it goes for around 23 to 25.
Okay.
And now that you're procuring now as 1 car or 2. 3, if it's a company, now that one goes to around 45 to 50. Because you will need probably things like fuel monitoring system, where a driver goes and fuels, his phones, how he consumes fuel, you see on a graph. You need all that data, that's why it's much higher.
And is that a one-off payment?
It is a one-off payment. So when we do a matatu, we come and do a matatu SACCO, it's a one-off. It's a one-off of 10,000, but then there is annual renewal, which comes to around 4,000.
Per annum?
Per annum.
Okay. Yeah. And there's a question here from Eve Minette. Who owns super administrative privileges, client or you?
Normally, we give the client 2 accounts. He was talking of the online account. So I'm able to, if we have 10, 50 vehicles, we are all able to see them. Then the manager has another account as an administrator, and which has a different password, which he now can change anything to do with the vehicles. But normally it's the manager exclusively and us. But for us to do something to that account, we have to contact the manager.
But now administrative privileges here, meaning, you see, like now if it's a computer, for example, only the admin can maybe change software, can, make alterations within the system. Who owns those privileges? Is it you or the client?
To change the software, to improve the software, or to add anything to the software, it's us. So when we add something on the software, we'll call you and tell you, for the next probably 1 hour, we'll be doing an upgrade. So if we feel after the upgrade you need some training, then you'll see our people coming around to come and train you on the new feature that we've added. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. There's a gentleman here who's asking, isn't putting cameras into a car for your spouse's car an invasion of privacy?
That's why from the beginning we said it depends. We give you a product, then you decide how to use it. You can decide, I will use it to monitor in case the car is stolen. Same with the microphone. We fit a microphone, we tell you this how to use the microphone. You decide. Probably you may take even 2 years without using it. But when the car is stolen, you just call and then listen, what are they saying? So maybe they have hijacked somebody and we forgot to say something. we put a small button. This for personal vehicle tracking and even for fleet. Normally, when somebody is hijacked, you don't have time to call your friends.
Right.
So instead of that function, we put a very small button at the steering wheel. So when you're hijacked, you just press the button. It texts 5 of your friends, one of them being us. That way, they are able to know, so they are told, so-and-so is in an emergency, he needs urgent help, he's at this location, he's going at this speed, kindly help him. That's what this would have done.
Okay.
Calling your friends. So it's them now to decide, do I call the to the system to listen to what the person is being told? Do we stop the car? If we should we wait for it to be at the place where there is police? So it's for the client to decide how to use it. Okay. Should I activate the camera now to see who are the people inside? Should we take photos of the tags inside the car? So you can use for that function, but you can as well decide to now monitor your spouse. So it depends on the client what they want.
What you want to use it for. And I guess you can't get involved in whether what somebody decides to use it for. Now, given some of these features which are very advanced but could also put you at risk, for instance, immobilizing a car when it's in motion could put the person in the car at risk, given that the thug might think you've, tampered with something. Is there a way of undoing that?
Let me give you a scenario as you're saying, yeah? I've been hijacked. What do? I press the button. It is advisable that if, for example, a car has been hijacked, the best thing you can do, go to your mobile app. Our mobile app will tell you when the engine is on, when the engine is idling, and when the engine has stopped. So from the mobile app, you're able to tell where this car is moving at, what is the status of the engine, what is the speed. Then from there, you alert us. Tell us, my wife has been hijacked, and this is the state. At least you're monitoring. That's why it's called Gari Mkononi. There's something you're doing before you even call us. So then, if we know the car is moving from wherever, at this particular place, moving towards Machakos, then that's when now we narrow down to that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. Closing comments?
And to add on what he's saying, again, when the person stops the car, most other systems just cut off everything. For ours, it reduces the speed in a way that it's the acceleration that has stopped. So you're still moving, but the car speed
So it would sound like there's a malfunction of the car or something.
Exactly, not like other systems just...
Okay, and after that you cannot even call to... I mean, you can't restart it.
You can't restart.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. I think we'll have to wind it up right there because of time. Douglas Mwangi and Jacob Maina, who are inventors of Gari Mkononi, and generally looking at what most people have to say. They like the application. However, the cost is what would probably be what they would like to find out more about. But thank you very much for staying with us right here on Morning Express. We'll have to wind it up right there. Do stay with us if you're on KTN News. We've got news track coming up.
This is KTN.